Hey adventurers, Jonathan here at Night Knowledge. By time you see this, Torchlight 3 will have had a server wipe, and you'll need to start the game from scratch. I'm hoping a major change they implement is being able to respec your skill points for free. Currently requiring respectacles, these consumables dropped far too infrequently, requiring you to know exactly how a class skill works by only reading the description. In today's video, I'm going to show you each skill for the Dusk Mage class, so you can know what skills to spend your points on and which to skip. Let's get started. If you don't know, the Dusk Mage plays like the typical glass cannon, seeming to have more AoEs than true single target DPS spells. The two skill trees are split into light and dark magic. As you use one kind of magic, it'll build up the meter of the other. When at full, the Dusk Mage will get a bonus when a spell of the respective college is used. So if you use up your light bar, it'll give you a bonus to mana regeneration. While if you use up your dark meter, it'll increase the damage for a similar duration. As of right now, a player will have a hotkey bar of 6 skills, numbers 1 through 4, and a left and right mouse button, along with the relic skill. I did read that they do intend on expanding that to 8. That is important because as you put more points into a skill, it'll give you a bonus to that skill at tiers 1, 2, and 3 for both that skill and possibly your other skills. For example, the first light skill is Holy Bolt. A pretty mundane single target direct damage attack, normally a skill that you only use because you start off with it, but with 6 points in it, it'll give a bonus of 20% damage to all your light spells if equipped in your hotbar. So if you're intending on using light magic as your primary damage source, a 6-point Holy Bolt would be an important skill to put skill points in. I'll show the bonuses, but won't theorycraft too much on it, as it is probably subject to change. In Tier 2, for the light tree, there is Radiant Blast and Consecration. Radiant Blast, as you can see, is a nice AoE light spell, while Consecration is a great area buff that will increase everyone's damage while within, and for each player within, will buff the Dusk Mage's damage even further. So good solo, but even better with friends. The only drawback with Consecration is that it may obscure enemy elites that use the ability Siege, so you may need to pay closer attention to the ground if you're using that skill. In Tier 3, there is Light Spear, that is a piercing line attack that seems to have a very far range, and although it doesn't cost any mana, it uses up one of your 2 charges. Every 10 seconds you'll restore that charge. In Tier 4, there is Holy Fury and Luminous Run. Holy Fury will be a favorite of many players, as you'll feel like you're dealing a lot of sustained piercing damage, with the added bonus of slowing down enemies. A great support skill, Luminous Run will dash forward, giving you a boost in speed. And if you run through allies, it'll give them a speed buff as well. Once again, like Consecration, good solo, even better multiplayer. Luminous Run can be used consecutively, but only has 2 charges. Finally, in Tier 5, there is Absolver, which shoots 3 piercing bolts at enemies in a cone. Although slower and a much shorter range, there are no charges for Absolver and can be spammed. In the Dark Spell tree, in Tier 1, we have Unholy Bolts and Dark Spears. Unholy Bolt is a cheaper Absolver, but the bolts do not pierce, and are like the electric shock of the wizard in Diablo, and are very erratic and essentially requires you to be very close to your enemy to be effective. Dark Spears will be a favorite for a lot of people. It's not only a low cooldown, persistent AoE that deals average damage, but it also slows down enemies. In Tier 2, there is Shadow Step, a nice teleport spell with 2 charges. Tier 3 provides you your first and only summon spell called Spirit Well. As you put more points into it, as of today, it'll spawn more allies and more powerful allies. Tier 3 also has Energy Spike, which is a very high damage cone attack spell, but similar to Unholy Bolt, can be erratic at the tail end. Tier 4 has Damnation, which is like a reverse Consecration spell. Any enemies caught in that spell will deal 50% less damage, so it's great for bosses and elites. Finally, Tier 5 in the Dark Spell tree has Entropy, a slow-moving ball that flies straight but throws out shards at enemies and is a great crowd clearer. So those are all the Dusk Mage spells. I hope it helps you get an idea of how they all work and helps you figure out whether to spend your precious skill points in. Hopefully respeccing in the future will be free and unlimited for more build crafting. Remember, when making your build, to pay attention to what the bonuses are when reaching tiers 1 through 3 for each spell. Maybe by time you watch this video, the devs would have changed the bonuses. So that'll end today's video. Thanks for joining me today. Check out the rest of my channel for other videos on Torchlight 3, video games, board games, and other fun things. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.